Comrades, I just want to begin by saying I was really pleased to be invited to go up to Barnsley to speak at the rally that you had in the town centre to defend the jobs and services of the South Yorkshire Fire Brigade. And what really impressed me was the number of firefighters who travel a length and breadth of the country to say to the people in South Yorkshire, you might be leading this fight on behalf of the FBU, but the rest of the FBU supports you and stands behind you. And I was really proud to be up there to speak at that rally and to see what's going on. As I was introduced, you were told that the CW has its own little problems with Lord Mandelson and the government and Royal Mail, and unless a massive white rabbit is pulled out of a very big hat in the next hour, the industrial executive of the Communication Workers Union will be authorising that the industrial action, two-day industrial action due to take place tomorrow and Friday amongst our members in the postal industry will be taking place. The situation is this in Royal Mail. You'll have seen in the press, no doubt. And the reason this is important is because you will be subject to this kind of hysteria and misrepresentation in the media the same way that the CWU are. This story is being put out that the CWU is against modernisation. Well, let me tell you about the CWU's position on modernisation. 3,000 post offices have closed, Sunday collections have gone, second delivery is gone with the promise of niche services being delivered, and in Adam Crosey's own words, 63,000 jobs have gone out of the industry. Now that doesn't sound to me like a union who's been involved in those negotiations that has stood back and not moved this industry forward when it comes to modernisation. What we've got, and we saw it yesterday when Mandelson spoke in the House of Lords and McFadden spoke in the Commons, and Hunt, Lord Hunt, the Conservative spokesman, replied by saying what this is about is management's right to manage. In some respects, he's true, because what you get in management's right to manage, and they don't listen to anybody else, and you'll be familiar with this, is poor management that ends up alienating the workforce. And that's the situation we find ourselves in the CWU. And that's the situation you're finding yourselves in the FBU. You see, what amazes me about the coverage we get in the press and the coverage you'll get in the press is this. We've got a government here that fell hook, line and sinker at the only show in town was the capitalist economic model that's governed for years. And when Brown said it's the end of boom and bust, what he meant was it's all going to be boom, boom, boom. And of course, when it went bust completely, they were left wanting. So first of all, the press said, well, that's got to be the politicians' fault. And it was a massive expose. And all of a sudden, the rogue elements were MPs and ministers, MPs filling their expenses, duck ponds, porn channels. They were public enemy number one, because the government wasn't going to have that. So that soon translated into greedy bankers, greedy bonuses. And public enemy number one soon became the people who got us into this mess in the first place, that this government's bailed out to the tune of £1 trillion. And that is greedy bankers and the financial institutions. How come, and I don't accept this, all of a sudden it's our fault? Where did that come from? Well, I have no idea, but I'll tell you what I don't accept, and the CWU doesn't accept, and you don't accept, and the FBU doesn't accept, is that the fault that in the economic system we didn't ask for, and we're not going to pay the price to bail out corrupt financial institutions and a government that really doesn't know which way to turn. So, of course, what you keep getting in the Westminster Village is that this government is on its last legs. They're the words that come around. This government is on its last legs. And what it says is, we'll make cuts, we'll make them softer and not as noticeable as the Tories, but we'll make cuts nonetheless, but we'll protect essential frontline services. Well, I can't think of anybody more essential and frontline than yourselves in the FBU. Now, you tell me, does it seem to you like you're being protected by this government? No. I thought that would be the answer. And what we see now is an all-out assault on a working class, an all-out assault on collective trade unionism. We're seeing it in the post office, and you're seeing it in the fire service. And at some point, in all of those attacks from the press, from the financial institutions, and from the government, working class people have to say, enough is enough. Postal workers have said, enough is enough. Quite clearly, the firefighters who walked out on Monday in South Yorkshire have said enough is enough. The FBU's leadership and Matt Rack are to be congratulated for leading the fight for frontline public services and for defending jobs and conditions of the working class. And the CW does the same, and the CW supports you in that fight. Thank you.